Okay. Yeah, see. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions about the embassy recommendation. Like the test that we went through, a lot of people were asking me that okay, if we apply for the embassy recommendation, then what would be the test structure? What would be the test procedure? Like there are English language tests, there are Japanese language tests, and you have the interview in the last. So what was the structure? So the first question that I have is embassy recommendation easy to get?
Well, it really depends on your country, but for mine, I mean, it's a very long process, and you have competition with people who have, very convincing and very convincing research projects, and people who are very interested in Japanese. They have different levels of Japanese proficiency, so you be competing with a lot of those people. So, it can be very competitive. So, in short.
So what do you think? What is the most important factor? Your research proposal or your communication skills? How do you communicate with them? How do you deliver your project? Is it important or your research topic is important? Because there would be a lot of people doing a lot of stuff there, but they may be not able to communicate it in a better way as you. So what is more important, research proposal or the communication? How you communicate in interview?
I think it's a mixture of basically all those factors. You have to display an interest in Japan. They don't want to send you here just like that, because this is a total different country with different cultures and whatnot. So they want to make sure have faith that you can survive here. And of course, research proposal is very important. They actually want to get the rewards afterwards. When you graduate, that you can actually contribute significantly to society. So it's a mixture of both in terms of communicating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a requirement in general. You have to be able to communicate.
True.
What you want to do. Well.
At least you should be clear in your mind.
Yes.
So what sort of test does they conduct?
Okay, so I did the English test and the Japanese test. For the English test, if you have university, for me, I'm a native speaker.
Yeah.
And I would say for a native speaker, you would have to have around university level education in order to get 100 on the English test. Once you have that, or you're an avid reader, you love literature,
Yeah.
you do that, you'll be fine. But for the Japanese test, there are different sections. It starts from very, very basic, and it goes way up to real advanced, like real advanced Japanese. So, but the good thing is that you don't have to pass that. They're just giving it, just for giving its sake. They just want to see
Is
how
this
far
just
you
the
can go.
formality to went through that Japanese language test? It's not that mandatory as you are saying, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, for me, for the university recommendation, I just get the letter of English language proficiency from my university. I don't have to go through that English test or the Japanese test. So I feel like university recommendation is sort of easy in that respect, but yeah, embassy recommendation is a lot of privileges and perks as well.
Yeah, it
You don't
takes a
have to
year.
maintain your GPA.
Yeah,
I am jealous of that.
Well, at least you're on top of things though. So I'm falling short.
It's Japanese language. Yeah, I asked you, is Japanese language proficiency is mandatory, and you said no, it's not that mandatory. But you should have the know-how of the language, right? You should know at least something about it.
Well, display your interest in Japan for them, because you want to be able to survive, because surviving in Japan is not for everyone. I must say.
I'm N6 and he's N2, I guess. I'm very bad. I'm really bad.
Nah.
Okay, so I asked you how was the structure of test. As you said, it was the English test. So what was the structure of English test? MCQs based or question answer based, short questions or prepositions, pronunciation. What was it about? Like, is it similar to IELTS or GRE?
I've never done those, but
I went through the Duolingo one. It was pathetic.
the Duolingo, I think the Duolingo one is well, never mind about that. But for the English test that I did, is just multiple choice. You just select the word that would be most appropriate.
Okay, so
in the context.
I'm assuming that it would contain synonyms or some there is a word. What is the meaning of that word?
Yeah.
And if the sentence is like he dash driving the car. So you have to fill it. He is driving the car. He was, and something relevant to that. Okay.
Well, they mostly test. They don't really test on grammar, but mostly what I realize they mostly
Vocabulary.
use vocabulary.
So
Yeah.
it looks kind of simple. I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. It's
So last question is, how did you prepare for the test? I mean, you are the native speaker. You don't have to, but still, the people who are not the native speaker like me, how would they prepare for that English language test or the Japanese language test?
Well, some English speakers, they can just be too much, in my opinion. They would use a lot of words that you don't really use in real life situations. But in order to prepare for the English test, I don't really know what to tell you, except I guess read some literature books and reading articles about scientific stuff or just what they call it, current affairs.
Yeah, current
Would
affairs.
expose you to words that they typically use in those contexts.
So yeah, collectively, if I summarize everything, that you should show your interest in Japan, because Japan is sort of unique as compared to the other countries. A lot of people were asking me that why did you want to go to Japan? Why don't you go for the Canada or Australia, Austria, USA? But that is easy. I mean, everybody gonna go there. But choosing Japan was a tough decision because their culture, civilization, and then there is a language barrier. They just want to see how you will gel into the society. The main motive is behind the interviews and all the stuff, that how would you communicate here, how would you gel, would you feel homesick, or would you feel like I'm not the part of them. So maybe that is why they just want to know that you have some sort of language proficiency, Japanese proficiency, so that you can at least communicate. And then in case of English is used as a mode of communication everywhere. So maybe they just want you to have the knowledge of both of the language, so that you can at least survive in this country. You don't just learn again that no, I don't want to do the research, I'm just going back to my home.
Yeah.
So this is the probability, right? Okay, so that's the sub for me. I mean, that's the wrap. You just answered everything. Yeah, you just answered everything. So yeah, if they will have any questions, I'll let you know.
For sure.